TNA Wrestling. Cross the line.
It's time for a change.
Ladies and gentlemen, one, the only, Hulk Hogan!
Hulk has just joined TNA Wrestling.
This is the company that's going to lead the way in the future. I guarantee that.
Now is our time to take this to another level.
What you gonna do, Hulkamaniacs? My new partner Dixie Carter and Hulk Hogan run wild on you.
What was once unimaginable is now inevitable.
Monday night, January 4th, we're going to battle with a WWE.
The wrestling business is about to be flipped upside down.
Destiny is ours for the taking.
What you gonna do, Hulkamaniacs? What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Tonight, we celebrate the biggest night in TNA history.
You can feel that change is literally hovering in the air.
The Impact Zone, absolutely electric. The Nature Boy, Ric Flair, is in TNA.
The TNA we know right now will never ever be the same.
A night when we promised you shocks. A night when we promised you surprises.
Jeff Hardy is here in TNA.
This is the moment that we've been anticipating for months. Hulk Hogan live in the Impact Zone.
TNA is gonna be the #1 company in the world.
Oh boy, that's Eric Bischoff. Everybody has got to earn their position in this company. I can assure you, things are going to change.
The game changes now. Everybody has to earn their spot in this company. Those are the two greatest wrestlers in this business today. Kurt Angle and AJ Styles, you just raised the TNA bar to a whole nother level.
What Hulk's just trying to tell you is everybody is going to be under a microscope.
I now am Dixie Carter's partner. You need to grab your boots, get in line with the rest of the crew. You gotta prove yourself.
And what we're going to do is turn this company upside down.
The game changes now.
The team of Hogan and Bischoff have done it before, and I'm damn well sure we can do it in TNA.
Welcome to Genesis. We told you there was gonna be change.
Change is what we are all about. Get used to change, because there's a hell of a lot more coming your way.
This is your shot. Your one shot. Make it count, because there might not be another one.
Well, the band definitely not on the same page. Nash doesn't look too happy. I can't say I blame the guy.
I'm calling these guys out Thursday. I can't take this anymore.
You need to do it.
You just knocked out your opponent.
Everybody has to prove themselves here at TNA. Yes, sir. And you're gonna have your match tonight. Mr. Anderson!
I think that Mr. Anderson's got a bright future here in TNA. That's Ric Flair, Nation Boy Ric Flair now.
Coming down towards the ringside area to get an up-close and personal look at this TNA World Heavyweight title match. We all just saw AJ Styles tap out, but because Ric Flair pulled the referee out, he was not in position to see the submission. Flair takes the TNA World Heavyweight Championship belt, slides it into the ring. You can talk about being influenced by the dirtiest player in the game, but I have to admit, I never thought that we would see this from AJ Styles, Ric Flair or not.
I mean, Kurt Angle has lost any opportunity now at AJ's title in 2010. It's all about me and this world title.
The TNA World Heavyweight Championship. It's a symbol of achievement, representing the pinnacle of success in the world of professional wrestling.
I am Mr. Anderson.
I'm Matt Morgan.
I'm Hernandez. Pope D'Angelo De Niro.
I am the Monster Abyss.
I'm Eric Young.
I'm Orlando Jordan.
I am Robert Roode.
I'm Kurt Angle.
And I am the next.
I'm your next TNA World Heavyweight Champion.
TNA World Heavyweight Champion.
And I am the next TNA World Heavyweight Champion.
And I will be the next TNA World Heavyweight Champion.
And I'm the next TNA World Heavyweight Champion. And I am the next TNA World Heavyweight Champion.
I am Mick Foley, and I am the next TNA World Heavyweight Champion.
For the athletes that captures this championship, a gateway of fame and fortune is opened.
In this business today, We have the absolute best wrestlers in the world. So when you're the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, you are the absolute best in the world at that time.
You have the whole weight of the company on your shoulders. I'm talking about red carpet events, I'm talking about press junctures, I'm talking about things that get our company more exposure in the mainstream audience as well.
To win a belt for the first time, it's a big deal because no one can take that away. Your name will always be synonymous with that belt and with pro wrestling history. It's, you know, it's like you exist forever. As a kid, breaking into the business, you know, you dream of that day to be holding that world title, and if that day ever comes for me, it's going to be the proudest and probably the most special day of my career.
Being a world champion anywhere is a huge honor, and it obviously means that the company and your peers have put you in that role of not only being hopefully a great performer, but in a role of leadership.
To be the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, first of all, for me, it's going to be a great accomplishment because I'm going to be the first Latino one to accomplish that goal.
On February 14th, at against all odds, live on pay-per-view, 8 men will battle it out to determine the #1 contender for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship.
When Hulk and I first started seriously considering coming to TNA, you know, the first thing we did is look at the talent. And we asked ourselves, is there really enough there to get this company to the point where we felt we wanted it to be if we were involved? And the answer was definitively yes. There was no question about that. We decided that the heavyweight division needed a ranking system. There needed to be some order, some organization, and some reason that's justifiable to the wrestlers themselves, to the audience, so that everybody understood when somebody gets a title shot in TNA, they've earned it.
Only 5 men have held the TNA World Heavyweight Championship since its inception on June 17, 2007.
I'd have to say that the first time I won the World Heavyweight Championship was probably the best moment I've ever had in my life besides winning an Olympic gold medal. It's a sign of confidence. It means that you are carrying the company.
Well, being a TNA World Champion is a title that no one can ever take away from you.
While 8 warriors will battle to secure a title shot inside TNA Wrestling's infamous steel cage at Lockdown, 2 TNA originals prepare to wage a war of their own.
I'm the phenomenal AJ Styles, and I'm the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, the only Grand Slam champion.
I'm Samoa Joe. Some call me the Samoan Submission Machine. Some people call me the Nation of Violence. But I can guarantee you, I will be your next TNA World Heavyweight Champion.
Tonight, we take a look at the events leading up to the match that will determine the #1 heavyweight contender in TNA Wrestling. We will also look at the feud between Samoa Joe and the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, AJ Styles. Who will overcome the odds and earn a shot at greatness? Can AJ Styles continue his winning streak and remain world champion? TNA Wrestling proudly presents Before the Bell, Against All Odds. TNA Wrestling is the fastest growing, most talked about wrestling company in the world. The greatest athletes in professional wrestling today have joined forces with the most recognizable legends and icons of all time.
Well, I've always maintained that TNA had the best wrestlers in the world, even when I was with a different company. Maybe I didn't shout that opinion out, but I always looked at the roster from top to bottom and thought it was really the best that wrestling had to offer. There's a diversity of styles. There's guys who really believe in what they're doing in the ring. You know, you could say they're younger, they're more naive, they haven't become jaded or grizzled, and they really just believe in giving everything they have every night out.
TNA Wrestling's Ace of Spades is currently the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, AJ Styles.
The feeling I got from winning the first World Championship was, wow, I deserve this. I was supposed to be TNA World Champion years ago. I just never had the opportunity. And now that I've got that world title, no one's taking it from me.
When you realize that an organization, you know, whether it be TNA or another company, decides that you're going to be that flagship person, it's a huge responsibility. And I'm sure that in the case of AJ Styles, AJ is on top of the game right now, and he's as good a performer as there is in the business.
Rising above the fray to challenge the phenomenal one is the former TNA heavyweight champion, Samoa Joe. Will he have the fortitude to regain the title he lost over a year ago?
You know, the first time you win the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, it's almost indescribable feeling. It's the highest high you've ever been on. But there's also a little bit of apprehension that comes along with it, because now you're the best, now you're the top, now you're the man to beat, and everybody's coming to beat you.
These two warriors have battled in TNA wrestling since 2005 and have been involved in some of the most famous matches in the history of this young company. They are considered by many the face of TNA wrestling.
Hulk Hogan called me one of the best in this business because I am. I'm just not good. I'm not great. No, I'm phenomenal. I'm the best in the world, and I've proved it time and time again.
When Hulk Hogan called AJ Styles one of the best wrestlers in the business today, he was putting his seal on AJ's in-ring performance. And when Hulk Hogan talks, everybody listens.
You know, to be a success in professional wrestling is no different than being successful as a Major League Baseball player, an NFL football player. Any competitive business or sport or space requires any number of things, but probably at the core of it, commitment, determination, focus, to a certain degree, integrity. And I think that's one of the things that a lot of people are disappointed in with AJ Flair at this point, because he had all of the necessary ingredients, but for whatever reason chose to hook his wagon to the Ric Flair pony and go on a Ric Flair roadshow. So we'll see how it works for him.
To be the TNA World Heavyweight Champion means one thing. It's an affirmation of what I've always known, being the best in the world, being the best in this industry, being the very best at what I do. And that's hurting people.
I think when you have AJ Styles and Samoa Joe in the same ring at the same time, it's something special. No matter what the agendas are of AJ, no matter what the desire is of Samoa Joe, these two men have a chemistry. They have something special. It's a magic that goes on when they compete against each other. And I think that's what our TNA audience are going to experience.
On February 14th, AJ Styles will risk it all as he puts his TNA World Championship on the line.
What makes their rivalry so great? I think because they've been real close personal friends at one time or another. I don't know that they've remained as close, and I think on both sides they may want to at times act like they're closer than they really are. But their rivalry is a great competitive rivalry that they elevate each other's games.
Will Samoa Joe's Nation of Violence prove once again why it's the most unstoppable force in professional wrestling today?
You know, some people wonder what drives my ruthlessness, what makes me what I am. Well, quite simply put, there's only one way to live life, and that's achieving goals. And if achieving goals means, well, glad handing, making backstage deals, doing what you can to lie, cheat, and connive your way out of what should be won, well, that's not my style. I'd rather kick down the door, break everybody's neck, and take it and walk out.
I've only seen Samoa Joe wrestle a couple times, but I think what makes him so brutal is the fact he's just physical. I mean, he's a big physical guy. The island guys are notoriously tough. We've got a lot of them in our business, and Samoa Joe is no different. He's a very physical, tough guy. Also a guy that, is a world champion caliber athlete. He's a world champion caliber wrestler. And, seeing those two guys in the ring on the 14th would be a huge honor for anybody.
For the first time in the history of TNA wrestling, a championship ranking system will be established.
Is the ranking system a good idea? Absolutely. I've always personally, in my mind, I've been a student of the game, probably the biggest fan, but I've always sort of ranked competitors in my mind, whether I was the champion or whether I was chasing that belt. You always got to have in the back of your head who to look out for and who not to look out for. So I've ranked them in my head for years.
It lets you know where you are. It gives you something to strive for. It gives something for the fans to follow.
I believe that this heavyweight ranking system could really work in the same way it has for so many years with boxing. Now you don't have to explain to fans why certain matches are being made. It makes every match on every show mean that much more because people realize that they're not just working their way up a figurative, imaginary ladder, but they are working themselves up a very real ladder in terms of rankings.
This ladder of success represents a long and arduous road for any professional wrestler seeking to be the next TNA World Heavyweight Champion.
I think a heavyweight ranking system in TNA is a great idea, sure, because I can't even begin to tell you, from my personal side of the thing, that how many times I've won 16, 20 matches in a row, and I wasn't getting a TNA World Heavyweight title shot. So from my own experience, I was pissed about that, because I look at myself every morning, I wake up in the morning, I know I'm a TNA World Heavyweight Champion. It's just a matter of time.
The TNA Wrestling Heavyweight Division is made up of the names you know and the names you need to know.
TNA's heavyweight division is the best in the world because you have so many styles that can clash. You have power, you have speed, you have high flying. You don't know who you're gonna wrestle or what style they're gonna bring to you.
Our heavyweight division in TNA is without a doubt the best in the world. We have such great athletes in that division. You know, you look at top to bottom, you look at our heavyweight champion right now, you look at AJ Styles, you have Kurt Angle, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, Samoa Joe, Matt Morgan, you can throw his name in the hat. I mean, the names go on and on. It's, you know, there's no other company in the world that can compete with our heavyweight division.
For past victors, the TNA World Heavyweight Championship is the centerpiece to a stellar career. For those athletes that have never held the title, it's their ultimate goal.
For me, holding the title over my head, knowing I had just won it, would be, I don't think I could put it into words right now because it hasn't happened for me yet. I know it'd be extremely emotional for me. Like just recently, I'd also won the tag titles, and holding those titles over my head was very emotional. And I say it's emotional because, you know, I have a father right now that's in the hospital with brain cancer as we speak. And he's hooked up to a respirator, he's not conscious, and, you know, the guy's waited 8 long years to see me win a major title. But to be able to win the heavyweight title and hoist that belt over my head, you know, that's something for the ages. That's something I tell my grandkids about, my great-grandkids about.
For me, it'd be kind of like holding a newborn baby. Because, you know, I've never been a world champion, which is a travesty to myself and to the rest of the wrestling world.
I think everybody in this business who's ever put on a pair of boots, I think they'd be lying if they said, oh, they never wanted to be a world champion. I think that's really what it's all about. Wrestling goes back, gosh, over 100 years, and, you know, the people that you remember so fondly of are the champions. And you know, that's I'm 12-time world heavyweight champion, and that's one of the things that, you know, it's obviously the highlights of my career is winning titles.
8 men will battle.
There are so many good wrestlers in TNA, and you're seeing the top 8 wrestlers besides AJ Styles go at it that night. You know, it's really anyone's game. It's really, you know, whoever has the best night. I am going to go into that tournament peaking. I'll be ready to go, and I know I'll be able to mow through that talent and end up the #1 contender.
Veterans and young guns alike will compete for the #1 ranking in TNA Wrestling's heavyweight division.
I definitely think the ranking system is a great idea. It's a measuring stick, and the fans know exactly where you stand, and you know exactly where you stand.
Who will earn a shot at the TNA World Championship at Lockdown inside the steel cage? For the rising superstars in TNA, the chance to capture destiny and win a TNA World Championship will be a tangible reality at against all odds. But a clear-cut favorite has yet to be determined.
We have a good blend of, you know, veterans, some up-and-comers, and right in the middle of the pack of all that, which makes up a majority of our heavyweight division, is a lot of seasoned guys that has a lot of experience like myself, however, that are still young.
Old rivals.
You know, I'm often asked, what makes a great rival? Well, for as much friendship that we've shared over the years, at the same time, there's a competitive spirit between me and AJ. There's a spirit to be #1.
What's it like to wrestle Samoa Joe? Have you seen any of our matches?
You know, not to lend any more credibility to this phrase, but wrestling an athlete like AJ in the ring is phenomenal. He is a man that has the ability to do things that have been unseen on this planet by any other guy that I've ever seen step into that ring. So anytime that you go into the ring with AJ Styles, you got to expect anything and everything. Unfortunately for me, he has to expect the same.
New superstars will collide between the ropes.
I see myself as number one. When I look in the mirror every morning, I see number one.
Each athlete competing for the ultimate prize in TNA wrestling.
You know, of all the times that me and AJ have clashed, you know, the question often is, what makes us different? What makes us different is he has something I want, the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. And I'll stop at no length to get that back from him.
On Sunday, February 14th, who will overcome the odds?
To have that title for the first time will be a great accomplishment for me because starting here as a tag guy, now working my way up to the singles, representing La Raza. Oh my God, you don't understand how great that's going to be.
The world will watch as TNA Wrestling's heavyweight division competes in a ferocious 8-card stud tournament.
Well, I have as good of a chance as anybody in that 8-card stud tournament. Nobody is as conditioned as I am. Nobody has the experience I do. I've proven that I can win a world title at any given time.
I'm going to win the tournament simply because no one can match my power, my strength, my agility. They've never faced a guy like me before, so it's a wild card right there.
Pope's going to win this 8-card stud tournament because, quite simply, Pope is the best.
Also on this night, the TNA World Heavyweight Champion AJ Styles defends his title in an effort to remain the phenomenal one against the Samoan submission machine, Samoa Joe.
What do I think will make this match special? That's obvious. I'm in it. And along with me, the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. The dirtiest player in the game, my mentor, the guy that I'm learning from. In fact, the more I think about it, it's about to be a cakewalk.
No problem. And why? Because I'm going to be there to make sure it happens. I'll tell him all night long he's the best in the business and he'll rise to that occasion, he'll excel, and he'll beat Samoa Joe. He's that good.
I think fans are in for a little bit of a different Samoa Joe AJ Styles match this time because previously when they've met, AJ Styles, quite frankly, had a different game plan. He had a different agenda. The stakes are a little different this time. I think Samoa Joe, along with a lot of people, are so disappointed and disgusted, quite frankly, with AJ Styles, that passion and that fire that we've seen so often in Samoa Joe and other situations are now going to be translated into this match. I think the outcome could be quite a bit different as a result.
As far as fan expectations for this matchup, they expect the same thing that they've always seen with us. Two of the best in the world going in there and doing what they do best, and that's wrestle. Wrestle for the most coveted prize in all of professional wrestling.
My prediction for the TNA World Championship between Samoa Joe and champion AJ Styles, I gotta say, putting aside my friendship with Samoa Joe, my respect for him, I gotta go with AJ Styles here. I think momentum is in the corner of the champion, and so's the Nature Boy.
AJ Styles is so successful because he is able to mold both the mental aspects of the game with the physical aspects of the game. And I think when it comes to the physical aspects, nobody's any better than AJ. And now, if you're able to add Ric Flair to that mix, look out.
Samoa Joe, if he keeps turning up the fire, keeps turning up the intensity, he could have a good night. AJ Styles, you know, this is a new course for him. It's a change of life for him. How is he going to adjust to being the Ric Flair protege? How is he going to adjust to the lifestyle changes that come along with that? A lot of those things may not seem like a big deal to people who aren't in the professional wrestling business, but Ric Flair's lifestyle can become a distraction.
Will Samoa Joe have what it takes to become a world champion yet again?
You know, a lot of people attribute their success to several things. Some say it's faith, some say it's perseverance, some say tenacity. For me, I attribute my success to one thing, ruthlessness. Going after what I want, when I want, whenever I want. And that's what I've done since I've came here. That's what I'll continue to do. There is no limits to what I will do to get what I want.
Well, you know, I live in Las Vegas, Nevada. So if anybody knows about odds, it's probably me. Factor in 12 years running a sports book in Las Vegas, Nevada. And when I make the odds for AJ Styles and Samoa Joe at Against All Odds, I call it Pick'em.
You know, Samoa Joe is probably one of the more brutal wrestlers I've seen anywhere. And I think a lot of that comes from his background, his heritage. I've known a lot of Samoans in my career, and they all seem to have one common thread in their characters, and that's you cross them, they get very, very angry very, very fast, and they usually leave a trail of bodies behind them.
Old rivalries will be renewed.
What can the fans expect? I don't know. I don't care. This isn't about them. It's about me. It's about the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, the phenomenal AJ Styles.
The Phenomenal One versus the Nation of Violence for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship.
In my humble opinion, what is my prediction for the main event? Samoa Joe, AJ Styles. My prediction, I'm not even gonna answer your question.
My prediction is all-out destruction, an absolute war of attrition. A man will go in there, he will take a belt from another man and leave him laying in a pile of his own blood.
On February 14th, expect violence.
What advantages do I have over AJ Styles? Well, to put it quite simply, I'm far more ruthless, I'm far more violent, and I will do whatever it takes to win.
I will win the 8-card stud tournament. Why? I'll tell you why. Because the other 7 men in this tournament will not be able to match my intensity.
Expect excellence.
I will be the last man standing without a doubt.
Will I be the last man standing? Look at me.
Expect professional wrestling at its best.
It's the best in the world today because of the number of guys, young guys, that are in pursuit of the almighty gold. And the list here is endless, continues to grow every day. More and more people are coming to work for TNA, championship caliber guys, and it just increases the depth chart. And there's a lot of great heavyweights out there, and to be the world champion at TNA is a huge honor.
We got a little something for everybody, but when it comes to the heavyweight division, we have the absolute best because we got guys like AJ Styles, we got guys like Samoa Joe, we got guys like the Monster Abyss, Hernandez, Matt Morgan, and the list goes on and on. And last but not least, more importantly, TNA has the Pope. You understand what I'm saying?
Prepare yourself for an 8-man brawl that will determine the past, the present, and the future of the heavyweight division.
On February 14th, TNA Wrestling presents Against All Odds, live on pay-per-view.
And I'm the next.
The next
TNA
World Heavyweight
Champion.
The Elite 8 will compete in the finals of the 8-card stud tournament to determine the top seed in TNA's heavyweight division. And 2 TNA originals will battle for the heavyweight championship. Can the phenomenal AJ Styles, with the Nature Boy Ric Flair in his corner, retain his title against his friend-turned-foe Samoa Joe?
AJ, I am cashing in my title shot. We told you there was going to be change.
TNA Wrestling presents Against All Odds, live Sunday, February 14th, only on pay-per-view.